Welcome to the show. This is Future Shock. I'm Edward St. Pé, and we're going to continue on a sojourn into the news from AI. What an interesting world. You know, it is becoming. You know, for me personally, you know, you got to ask yourself, what is it that gives you, turns you on? You know, what is it that you want to learn about? What is it that you feel like you need to learn about? That's what you're going to do well in, because that's what you love. You know, so it's not really work. I always go back to the old story. You know, when I was in Baton Rouge at Channel 9 a long time ago, early on when I was doing TV weather, when I first started, I did interviews too for the news department. I like to do the entertainment reporting naturally. So I used to go out and interview people that were coming to town to perform. I'm just thinking of this story right now. Buddy Rich came to town, to Shreveport, with his big band. And, you know, and I had seen him on television, you know, and he was around during the big band era. He played with Frank Sinatra, everybody. Buddy Rich, he was the band leader, but he was the drummer, right? And he was the band leader, Buddy Rich Orchestra and such. So he came to Shreveport touring. And so I got, you know, behind the scenes, I got an interview with Buddy Rich, and I saw the performance, and between the show, I guess the intermission or whatever it was, between shows, I got backstage with him and we did the interview. And he was an older man at the time, because, you know, he had been around forever. And so I asked him, I said, Mr. Rich, you know, what is it that is motivating you? You're in Shreveport, Louisiana, actually Bossier City, which is next door to Shreveport, in a big venue playing for folks, you know, on Saturday night here, you know. He had to be, I would imagine, in his 70s at the time. And and I said, why, you know, what is it that motivates you to do this? And he looked at me and he paused, you know, and he said, son, he said, I'm working at Play. And he said, I don't have to do this. I have a lovely wife in Beverly Hills, and I could be there right now. He said, but this is my life. This is what turns me on. This is what gives me energy to live. This is my big band. And he said, I want to always do this until I can't do it anymore because I love it. And he said, that's why I'm the best drummer in the world. And you know what? He was right. And so I never forgot that. And it's, you know, if you do find your passion, whatever it is, you won't be working. You'll be enjoying what you do. It's a difference, right? You're not looking at the clock saying, I got to get out of here, I got to go home, I don't want to be here. Well, wrong profession, change professions, get out of it and do something that you love. And then it won't be work, and then you will excel at it accidentally. You can't help but excel at it because it's a flow. You get into the flow. You're doing it because you love it, right? They can pay you, and they're going to pay you because you're going to end up being the best at what you do. And so that's I digress. That's the secret, though, right there. Okay, we've got an interesting show today. So I said all of that to say this. I like AI. I want to learn about it, and I would like to be a conduit for you to bring you information that will help you. Why? Because it's something we need to know. I'm not interested in the news. I'm not interested in politics necessarily. Personally, yes, I guess so, but it's not going to turn me on to the point where I want to report it. No. I'm not interested. We've got a lot of reporting on all sides, right? And I'm not interested in talking about, you know, the highway department building a new bridge. Someone else with a lot of more understanding of all that will be reporting that. But I do have an interest in AI and what it's going to mean for me personally, my family, your family, all of us. We're into it now. It's here and it's coming and it's already changing the planet as we speak. So we might as well learn about it so we can adjust to it and not be blindsided by all of the things that are, you know, coming with AI development. Well, okay. Now, some people say that AGI, Artificial General Intelligence, is coming soon. Now, we have AIs, right? They're intelligent. They do a lot of things. But AGI is a different thing. AGI, Artificial General Intelligence, would be where, you know, the actual AI is sentient and is aware of itself, more or less conscious, like a living being, right? Some people say that it's a few years away. Ray Kurzweil, who is, I guess, maybe one of the most famous futurists who is weighing in on this and has for years and talked about this stuff for years, he says it's coming within the next few years, maybe 2027, 2029, somewhere in there. That's what the latest that I've read on what he is saying, that's what he is saying and has said recently. Other people think it may be closer at hand, maybe within the next year or two, whatever. Some people say that it is already achieved and that it was achieved recently at OpenAI around the time that Sam Altman was fired by the board and then rehired just a few days later after 700 of the engineers and employees at OpenAI were about to leave with him since he was fired and move over to Microsoft. Okay, so they think that that might have had something to do with why he was fired by the board, that maybe the conjecture is that maybe they had reached AI in the laboratory, reached AGI, but yet did not fully inform the board that it had happened, and then they found out, and so they fired him. Well, you can't fire Sam Altman. Sam Altman is like he's one of the most innovative guys out there in this field. So as he was fired, Microsoft said, come over here, and all of the employees were resigning to go there with him. So the board said, stop, come back, never mind. And most of the board members eventually just resigned themselves, and Sam Altman was back. Okay, so with that being said, if AGI was created at that time through a program they have called QStar, then that's a really innovative development, or it's a shocking development if that is the case, because that means we're at AGI right now. Could be. We don't know. It might be. So this first video is a clip that I want to show you that this says AGI has already been achieved. And here's some shocking details that talk about that. Let's take a look.
There's a certain thing being brought up more and more often, and that thing is AGI, or Artificial General Intelligence. Now, this term is being used by the media quite a lot, but very few people actually know or can even comprehend what exactly AGI is and the impacts it can bring to society. So I'll define what is AGI, what it takes to achieve it, and show you evidence that it's already here. We just all missed the subtle details. Here's an example. OpenAI announced Sora 2 weeks ago. This was a revolutionary and super realistic video generation model. It can do this, and this, and this. Plus, it can merge videos. So you can see here it's combining input 1 and input 2 and merging them into the video in the center. You can also use text to edit and manipulate an existing video. So you can see here right now it's turning the top video into an old school car in the 1920s. Here you're making it go underwater. But wait a minute, this video looks really familiar. I think I saw something like 7 months ago. So I'm pulling back the video that I did 7 months ago on the NVIDIA Omniverse, and here's what they showcased. This NVIDIA Omniverse is basically a hyper-realistic representation of the world. It seems to understand physics and be able to generate any object or movement that exists. So look at that. It looks eerily familiar to Sora's car video, where you can change the car to a different color, or you can completely change the background of this car video. So it's a really subtle thing that I picked up, but it's really interesting. The release of Sora really shocked everyone. It took everyone by surprise. But if you look at the subtle details, this scene in particular looks very, very similar to the OpenAI Sora video. But keep in mind, this was 7 months ago. So here's the thing. It seems like this technology kind of existed months before already. I'll show you more evidence of this, but first let's rewind time and jump back to 2007. In this study, AI experts were asked, when will AI surpass human-level intelligence? The majority answer of 26% says 2030 to 2050. In this study, done in 2011, AI experts were asked when do they think AGI will occur, and the average consensus was 2050. Another survey done in 2012 showed that 50% of experts think AGI will be achieved by 2040 to 2050, whereas 90% of them think it'll happen by 2075. Ray Kurzweil, computer scientist and author of the bestseller The Singularity is Near, thinks AGI will happen by 2045. All right, so it seems like experts think it's at least 20 years away, and there's no need to worry, no need to panic. It's not going to come anytime soon. This super intelligent thing isn't coming soon to wreak havoc on humanity. But is that really the case? If you look at the most recent advancements in AI and robotics, from OpenAI's ChatGPT and Sora to Tesla's Optimus Bot to Google's Gemini and Google's DeepMind and AlphaFold, AGI is not just coming closer than you think, but there are very compelling clues that it's already here. Did you know if you take a piece of paper and folded it in half 50 times, it would be taller than the distance from the Earth to the Sun? Now, before you think this guy's crazy, I'm unsubscribed to this channel, let's do the math really quickly here. Now, a piece of paper is roughly 0.005 inches thick. If you folded it 50 times, you're multiplying it by 2 times the thickness of the paper to the power of 50, which equals around 5,629,000,000,000,000 inches. Now, let's convert this into kilometers. 5,629,499, and I'm just going to add 6 zeros after that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is 5,629,000,000,000, etc., etc. Let me just make sure there are 12 digits here. All right, so yeah, there are 12 digits, and this is e to the power of 12. So this is correct. So inches to kilometers. And you can see it is roughly 142 million kilometers. And the distance from the Earth to the Sun is around 148 million kilometers. So this is not crazy. If you fold a paper in half 50 times, you can almost reach from the Earth to the Sun. Now, I went on this tangent to show you the power of exponential growth, the power of compounding. Things can happen way quicker than you think. In computer science, there's a thing called Moore's Law, which states that the number of transistors on a microchip doubles every 2 years, everything else being equal. So going back to the folding paper analogy, if it only takes 2 years to double and you compound this over a long period of time, things can grow really quickly, especially as you start to pick up momentum. This comment on Reddit was posted 3 years ago. Imagine in a few years when we can make photorealistic videos from just a few sentences. AI is crazy. Now, this comment got 2 downvotes, and then this reply got 14 upvotes. Few years, text to video isn't going to happen in our lifetime, bud, and especially not photorealistic. Maybe our grandkids might have it. Lol. Well, sorry to burst your bubble, bud, but text to video is already here, and this guy obviously doesn't understand compounding and exponential growth. Moving back to our topic of AGI, what exactly is AGI, or artificial general intelligence? So far, we've seen AI tools that perform certain tasks very well. For example, ChatGPT is great for Q&A and chatting. Stable Diffusion is great for image generation. We have 11 Labs and RVC, which is great for literally cloning anyone's voice. And then we have things like Pika and Sora for video generation. But again, these are all specialized in only certain tasks. They can't do anything else well. So for example, you can't get Midjourney to write an essay for you. You can't get ChatGPT to generate this video for you. So all these AI tools that I mentioned, these belong to the spectrum of artificial narrow intelligence. They're designed to perform certain tasks very well, but they can't generalize across other tasks. They can't do other tasks well. On the other end of the spectrum is artificial general intelligence, or AGI, which in a sense is just merging all of these narrow AGIs together to form this super AI which can perform tasks as well or even better than a human. It's able to generalize across different knowledge domains. So it doesn't matter if it's writing or stock trading or image generation, directing a movie, composing a symphony, etc. It is able to perform all of these tasks very well. And we're seeing more and more of this being unveiled. So for example, going back to this OpenAI Sora video or NVIDIA's Omniverse showcase, you can see that the AI they have trained understands the physics of the real world. It understands how light and shadows work. It understands how waves move and what happens when they hit the shoreline. It understands how objects and different types of objects in the real world move in space and time. Google's AlphaFold understands biochemistry.
So it understands physics. So interesting, right? Okay, so where are we? Are we at artificial general intelligence yet? Maybe. Maybe we don't know. Maybe there's a reason why if OpenAI did achieve the artificial general intelligence a few months ago, maybe there's a reason why they didn't announce it. You know, maybe there's a good reason. But I don't know what it is, but maybe there is. But it's very close. Now, you saw a little bit there about Sora. Now, Sora is the new OpenAI text-to-video application. You saw some astounding imagery there. That was basically created from a text or a synthesized voice text into the app, and then it comes back with whatever you asked for. So if you said, you know, I want to see a red Corvette traveling down a highway in the middle of the jungle, you know, and palm trees on both sides and a blue sky on the horizon, it will calculate that out and it will come back to you with the video. Now, think about that for a second. Not in a cartoonish way, but in a realistically presented way where, you know, you can't really tell it's not really being shot by an HD camera, right? And it's already edited for you. So basically, when it comes back, it's a usable clip. It might be, I think, up to 4 minutes long. So I've got a clip here of some more of the not yet released Sora app video, but some of their demos that we found that we can show. And this is pretty astounding, you know, when you look at it. I mean, this is all created by the text into the app, just explaining what you want. That I would imagine is, you know, an eyeball configured as the Earth, right? And so that's what the text was. Now here's an animation, you know, of two dogs walking down the street while it's snowing. I think that must be in Times Square, and so you can kind of get the idea of what it's capable of doing. Now that was a text, and what I do when I use the OpenAI project in general for not Sora because it's not released yet, but when I use DALL-E, which is available now, which is voice text into the app, which sends you back a graphic. Do we have a little bit more of that, Clarence? If you do, run it, because there's a lot more that I wanted to show of that video of more Sora applications. Go back to that video while I'll speak over it. But that particular app that is available now, DALL-E, you can speak or text in the graphic image that you like to see, and it comes back with it. Now, this is a whole other level, though. Not yet released, but coming soon. These are some demos from Sora showing what it's capable of. Now, you know, it's only up to your imagination, you know. I mean, there you go. There's some puppies on top of a piece of ground flying above the earth. Here's a couple of folks at a restaurant, and it looks like they're sitting at a table, and under the table, I'm not sure what's going on there, but something's happening. Now, those people are not real. That was not shot by a camera. That was configured by a text telling the AI what it wanted, and that's what it came back with. Same with this. This is a train that's traveling along a railroad, which evidently is running along the veins of a leaf. There's a dragon, and a white dragon, and a close-up shot that is created by the AI from a text. What I do when I use DALL-E now, the one that is available for the graphic imagery, I don't text it in. I synthesize the text, the voice, into the text, and then it sends that. And so I can just basically make it's even simpler. It's like a bit of a hack there. I can speak what I want in, and the OpenAI ChatGPT 4 droid that we call Alfred sends me back the image and or the information that I asked for. And it could be any information. ChatGPT 4 goes up to, I think, 2021. So any information that's out there across humanity via the internet, it's up to date with 2021. So if you ask him about something in the news today, ChatGPT 4's response would be, I can't answer that because I'm only programmed up to a certain point, and that is something that's happening today. So that's where that's where it stops. However, ChatGPT 5, which is developed but not yet released, will be up to current day, to right now. And, you know, here's the interesting thing about ChatGPT 5. As I understand, you know, the leap in intelligence could be 10 times. Okay, so if that is the case, ChatGPT 4 right now is at 150, so that's about equivalent with Einstein, right? Or Elon Musk, I think, is right at that level too. So if that's the top tier of intelligence IQ on the planet right there, okay? Einstein, right? Okay. That's where ChatGPT 4 is. If you go up a jump of 10, that would put it at 1,000 or more, right? More than 1,000. So that would be smarter than any human that has ever lived. Now, that's not necessarily AGI, but that shows you the compute power of this particular application, ChatGPT 5. Not yet released, but soon to be released. It's going to kind of be it's going to be a big deal when that comes out. Not to mention, if, you know, this other project that they are working on called Q has reached artificial general intelligence. That's not released. Of course, they're not even talking about that. It's kind of, the Q is kind of shrouded in mystery. We know it's there, but we don't know exactly, you know, but the speculation is that was the project that erupted and got Sam Altman fired. And the reason why is because Q is what achieved AGI at OpenAI. Okay, another bit of news regarding all this, and you might have heard about it. We talked about it, I think, yesterday. Elon Musk has sued OpenAI for, I think, breach of contract. He had an agreement with them in the very beginning because he was one of the founders of OpenAI. In fact, he's the one that termed the name OpenAI so that it would be an open source project. And it was, and then it went off into a different direction. He left the company. When he left the company, you know, he started working on AI at Tesla and SpaceX, and basically, I guess they had an ongoing relationship. But now he's pissed about it, and he is suing them for breach of contract because he says the OpenAI is not open, right? It's for profit. Microsoft has come in and invested, you know, I think billions of dollars into OpenAI. And so because they're the biggest technology company in the world, Elon Musk is claiming that this poses a greater risk to humanity because the OpenAI projects like ChatGPT-4 and all the other things they're doing will be closed to the public. The science will be closed to the public, and that in turn will have an adverse effect on humanity with the development of AI. Maybe it could go off. It's too much power residing in one company, I think is what the point is. Anyway, he's suing them. And so, you know, we'll follow that and we'll see what happens with that. But it's an interesting time to stay abreast of these things because these are the things that are going to be impacting us. For example, they talk about jobs. Who's going to lose a job with AI? Well, they say a lot of jobs will be displaced. Maybe certain jobs won't, but maybe a lot of jobs will be. Okay, now what if you were a graphic artist and you were working in the field of graphic design, and now you've got DALL-E, ChatGPT-4, the DALL-E, the graphics segment where you can text in what you want and it sends you back the graphic. What does that do to the job marketplace? Okay, one step further. It's not released yet, but Sora, which we just saw. What happens when Sora is widely available for not very much money to subscribe to it? And if, you know, what about video? What does that mean? how will that impact people in Hollywood who are working on films and their whole livelihood is based on the development of graphics for an animated film, whatever, when you can do it via Sora by texting in what you want. Now think about that for a second. What will that mean? Will it upend Hollywood? I don't know. People are speculating that it will upend Hollywood, and it will upend a lot of industries related to television and the film industry. So very interesting time to be aware of what's going on. Okay, at this point, this is our Pendragon Apothecary spot, which we're going to be out of time in a second, but we're going to do a little information about our store, which is in the lobby of the television station where this is coming to you from. We're at Ocean 7 in downtown Ocean Springs. And in the lobby, we have Pendragon Apothecary, which is an apothecary. We have all of the medicinal mushroom powders. It's sort of a forward-leaning wellness store. We've got the mushroom powders. We've got many different tinctures, a lot of different teas. We've got some CBD products, medicinally oriented products. I would say, we've got medicinal teas with the herbal blend and the infusion of CBD into it, a lot of different ones. And it's good because if you want to go to sleep at night, the CBD works as an anti-anxiety product and it helps you go to sleep and you don't feel groggy the next morning because there's nothing synthetic in it. It's a natural product. It's hemp, right? Hemp-based. So we've got all of that here for you, a lot of different blends of medicinal herbal products. And so come by and see us. We're in downtown Ocean Springs. I got word yesterday that the online merchandising or ability to take a credit card element of our new website, which is now finished, we got approved. So now they're working on the finalization of our new website, which will be a full website where you can look at our products and you can order something if you want. So that will be available, and I'll mention it over the next week or so whenever it's completed. And then anybody that's looking at this program, whether it's online on Facebook or whether it's over the air with our TV station broadcast, if you see, if you've got time and you're interested, you can look at our website and order some products, and you'll be able to get anything we've got shipped to you immediately. All right, before we go, I know we've only got a couple of minutes. I want to mention that along with this particular store, we any kind of biohack that is available, I'm going to mention it to you. Things that I'm learning about, because having learned a little bit about and in the process of learning more about herbalism, I have, it sort of intersects with the world of biohack, or hackism, right? And so, meaning anything that will make you healthier, whatever it might be. Red light therapy, that's one, that's an oncoming thing. And another thing that I learned about recently is grounding, and I talked about it the other day. Grounding is where you want to make sure that at some point during the day, you literally are touching the ground. Your feet are on the ground, or there are other ways to do it. You can get bed sheets infused with metallic thread, silver thread, which then you plug into the grounding element on your plug, not the electrical socket per se, but there's a single plug that fits into the grounding plug. And what that does, it grounds that bed sheet that's infused with that silver. So you're sleeping on the grounded surface. They have pads that you can rest your feet on when you're at your desk. Take your shoes off, put it on, that's also similarly grounded. What does it do? A lot of things for you. Think about how long we go without touching the ground, and having a discharge of the ionization in your body. We hardly ever do, ever since the development of shoes that are basically non-conductive, right? So like rubber soles and stuff. So you get up in the morning, you put shoes on, and you go to bed at night. So you didn't touch the ground all day. There's a lot of health benefits to grounding, and all you have to do is Google it, and you can learn a lot more about it. Well, that's it for this show, and the time flies. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.